and then continued on in doctoral work in philosophy before I met Mr. Miller. I actually took an ethnomusicology class. Ron Penn, I remember when he came to UK, and I took a graduate level ethnomusicology class one year, and I made my project about Mr. Miller.
Oh.
And because I had met him when he was I'd met him when he was 88 years old, so that would have been in 1986, but I hadn't been around him very much. And but I remembered him and wanted to spend some time with him. So I started hanging out with him quite a bit. And he was the sort of fellow who it almost seemed like he remembered everything that ever happened to him. And everything that ever happened to him was significant.
Yeah.
And, you know, for so many decades of figuring out how to tell the story and tell it well, he was just a jewel to be around. So typically I'd, get lunch and go sit and have lunch with him and chat with him. And I asked him 3 times if he would apprentice me, and was turned down. And he'd say, he was in his 90s already, and he'd say, "Mize, I could make 6 violins in a year, but if I took on an apprentice, I might make 1 or 2. It just slowed me down too much." But as he got older, he got to the point where I think he just really materially reflected on the fact that he was going to take all of his information with him.
Yeah.
And I think it just dawned on him that he wasn't going to live forever. Here he is in his 90s, and he finally figures out, And I just kept hanging around with him because he was so enjoyable.
Right.
And he was sort of grandfatherly to me, and
Yeah.
his only grandson had died of a drug overdose. And I think that it was just a really good match.
Yeah.
Where I needed someone kind of his bearing and in my life at the time, and I filled something for him too.
Yeah.
And it was really a sweet thing. So he eventually said, I'll apprentice you.